Where do you stand on Thanksgiving?
I like Thanksgiving. My favorite dish is dressing.
Okay. Mr. David Crowley.
Chicken dressing from my sister-in-law.
That is the nominee for governor in Wisconsin, the Democratic nominee, David Crowley, on CNN last night. Preserving, of course, Thanksgiving, which was put into some manner of jeopardy by Francesca Hong, the other Democrat who was against David Crowley in that race. She lost narrowly by some 3,000 votes. Political panel time. Doug Heye is with us, Republican strategist, and he was deputy chief of staff. House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, back when he was roaming Capitol Hill. Ofirah Yheskel is the current director of external affairs for the Democratic Governors Association. So let's start there. Wisconsin and Minnesota. Talk to me about those governor's races.
Well, we're really excited, obviously.
I'm sure you are. Let's skip that part.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there was great turnout and energy for Democrats.
The turnout numbers are important.
Yeah, and I think that energy really bodes well for us heading into these midterms where Republicans are really vulnerable, and bringing it back to Wisconsin.
Why did David Crowley win?
I think he had a really clear message on the economy.
Yeah, but he jumped back in at the last minute. Was it about nervousness about Francesca Hong and the whole DSA thing?
I think folks and Democrats in Wisconsin really want to win, and they both made really great cases, I think, on the economy. And at the end of the day, we're really excited about who we ended up with. And Tom
Because it's a different race than Tom Tiffany, the Republican nominee, was anticipating and preparing for.
Totally. And the RGA spent $5 million, lit it on fire, trying to meddle in our primary. And David Crowley ended up on top. But
you're not upset about them letting $5 million
No, I love to see it. I love to see money let
Talk to me about Minnesota and Amy Klobuchar.
Amy Klobuchar also in a great position. I think we've got two great, strong chances for Midwestern governors who are going to be focused on how they can lower.
And what about legislative races beneath those governors?
Well, obviously, I think that's even better. In Wisconsin, too, real chance at a trifecta for the first time in a long time. And so with Governor David Crowley, hopefully he'll have a Democratic trifecta that unlocks a lot of achievements in his ability to really deliver for folks in Wisconsin.
Doug, take it away.
I think what we saw was also a victory of Team Normal. And we've seen a lot of victories where it hasn't been Team Normal who's turned out on top for Republicans and Democrats.
Right. In the governor's race in Minnesota, Team Normal defeated Mike Lindell, who is contesting the election results, though he lost by 12 points. Brother, man, come on.
And in his video, it appears that he's driving his car while talking. So
also unsafe.
Listen, I remember
at any speed, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember being on Fox News the Friday after the 22 midterms where I said, please stay away from the pillow salesman. Plural. Both parties have attracted so many cartoon characters. And what they do is, one, they cost you races. And I think certainly.
And reputation.
And reputation nationally. And that's what we see. Every Democrat now is being asked about Thanksgiving. And they'll be asked about football because Al Saeed has made negative comments about football as a sport.
And fireworks.
And and what it means, and 4th of July. And you can go down this whole laundry list that Republicans have had to deal with as well. And it distracts you from your message of what you want to be talking about. And very clearly, the economy and President Trump's numbers are terra firma for Democrats right now, if they can stay on it.
Talk to me about Maine, Doug, because the Fox News poll has Troy Jackson 48, Susan Collins, the incumbent, 46. That's the margin of error. I'm just going to call it a tie. It's not a lead. How do you evaluate that?
Look, that's going to go down to the wire. You know, it's one of the
staying power for a Democratic Party that was in chaos 6 weeks ago.
Absolutely. And look, Team Normal won there as well.
Took a bit of doing.
As it turned out. Took a lot of doing. And Graham Plattner is going to be back on the campaign trail we've just seen.
In a controversial way. He's going to show up at some county event, and those who are very much alarmed by his overall personal conduct consider this a bad look.
Very bad look. And if you want him on the campaign trail, in theory, he should have been your candidate as well, especially after he won the primary. But I look at Maine in the same way I look at Marcy Kaptur's race in Ohio. These are two, Susan Collins and Marcy Kaptur. Every time they run, this is the time they're going to lose. And they never get defeated. So this is going to go down to the wire. Of course. But
it's a long shot.
It's never happened before for either one of them. And so if anybody can win this race in this environment, it's Susan Collins. But it's a tough race and it's a bad environment.
Ofirah, I want to talk to you about something else. One thing that Republicans, and Doug knows about this, for the last 2 decades have really focused on state legislatures. Democrats have not. Matter of fact, during the Obama years, the great Obama years for the Democratic Party, hundreds upon hundreds of state legislative seats went to the Republicans because they focused on this. Now, Pete Buttigieg, in Indiana at least, is beginning to endorse people who are not national names. They're not even Indiana names, trying to build a team in the legislature. Is this something Democrats are going to start taking seriously because they were basically out to lunch for so long?
I mean, it won't surprise you, Major. I think that the power's in the states. And so I'm enthused to see folks really paying attention to state legislative races. And again, those folks are working with governors. I think I'm excited about Wisconsin again because we can elect David Crowley, but also the energy we saw in Wisconsin can mean that they unlock a trifecta for the first time in a long time. And with a governor who has a trifecta, that means a lot of progress for everyday folks in terms of lowering costs, achievements like that. So I do think this focus is great. And this energy that we're seeing for Democrats in the midterms, I think, has some staying power to go all the way down the ballot to lift up some folks in state legislatures.
And Doug, you witnessed this tale of the tape for Republicans and their emphasis on this for years.
Absolutely. And, you know, in North Carolina, my home state.
Shrewd, very smart.
It's very smart, and it builds the farm team for those next candidates for Congress, for Senate, and so forth. And North Carolina, for a while, had a supermajority of Republicans in the General Assembly. They just lost that by one vote. That changes the entire calculus in the city of Raleigh. Anytime you have that happen in a state capital, it's a really big deal.
And it's something that the RNC and related interested Republican parties are going to have to start paying attention to if Democrats at long last start focusing on these
100%.
State races.
100%. And so much of what happens in Washington starts in the states. No, good ideas do not start in Washington. They may end up here. We'll see. But they start in the states, and that's why this is an important fight.
Anything else you want to add on that?
I agree with Doug for once. A lot of good things are coming out of states, and I think Democratic governors obviously are at the precipice of that, and looking forward to electing a lot more of them this year.
Excellent. For Yheskel, Doug, Heye, I appreciate your time very much.